Y'all, I'm happy to announce this here is a collaboration with Sugar&Cider by Katie. Okay, hashtag trading treasure. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. And today we're going to use this here treasure from Katie. Okay, I probably used maybe half, maybe not half. I used, yeah. So we're looking at it, and we've got some lovely postcards and some lovely papers and some of the coolest little fancy treasure bits. Didn't use any of. She sent me enough treasure, y'all. I should be able to do at least 2, if not 3 projects. I'm only doing 1 today. Okay? And I had to grow into it. Does that make sense? I didn't know what I was going to do. And then, oh, that's a sachet, y'all. See me smelling it? Oh. Anywho, look at this lovely stuff, y'all. That there is a bobbin, and it has some wire on it, and it is misplaced somewhere on my desk. I guess it could have hit the floor, but I don't think it did. I think it's just somewhere on the desk, y'all. Yeah, I probably didn't even use half of it. So we are about to get started. And while I was laying this stuff out, it has me thinking about it, I saw a color scheme going on. So I just laid all this stuff out because I was stalling for time. And I found that, so I took a picture. So we got a JPEG of that. And then I saw these laying over there. I'd picked them up from the charity shop a while back. And I thought, well, yeah, let's just use those. I mean, they're right here, So we just took those so that the little tabby things came along. And I'm like, okay, now what? Y'all, I did that a whole lot during this project. I'm like, okay, now what? Y'all know my standard MO, modus of operandi. So we're just going to, oh yes, and a link to her channel and a link to her video. Description box below, y'all. Please be sure to pop over there, say hey, and hopefully you enjoy her channel. I would like to ask you and encourage you to like her video, because her video is going to be the stuff I sent to her. Okay. So, and I don't know why, I don't even remember what I sent to her, and that's what I told her when we were collaborating and talking about stuff on the emails. I said, girl, I don't even remember what I sent you, but you got an envelope coming. So I'm just as excited to see what I sent her. It's probably a bunch of junk, trash, trading treasure kind of stuff. So we're using this here ribbon. Well, I'm not sure if it's a ribbon, but I'm calling it a ribbon. Okay, so we're calling it a ribbon. So it's a ribbon. And we've cut however long that is. I don't know. I didn't measure nothing. Eyeball. And which you will see plenty more of if you watch the whole video, which I hope you do. Or at least see the photo montage at the end. That'll be in a couple days, though. Okay? So just be fair warned. Anywho, using that to adhere my little indexy type card things together to make a little a journal. It's a journal, y'all. It's a completed journal. I mean, there's room for more stuff, but essentially it's completed. And I don't show you me putting all the tabs on there because I've taken some stuff out. It's like you've seen me do it now 500 times. Do you need to see it again? So now we're going to use some antique linen. This is distress oxide. And yes, I am aware that you cannot see it on top of those manila colored thingies. Okay? So we'll just zip through that, and it is oxide, so sprinkle spritzels some water on it. Try to show you, but of course I've sped it up so fast that even if you could see it, it's too fast to see. You're welcome. So I'm dabbing off the water and going along, trying to look at it, put some more on there, and yeah, dabbling it off. It looked cool, y'all. We're going to cover it all up. You probably won't, pretty much won't even see nary a thing of it. So now we're going to go around with some archival ink on account. I'm like, no, I need it more orangey. More orangey. I know what time of year it is. I know it is not autumn. And a lot of the colors in this are autumn. But let me just remind you, flowers come in all colors, including orange and yellow. Thank you very much. So we're going along. And that is a magazine, or it could have been a catalog. I'm not sure which, okay? And by catalog, I mean a quilt, art quilt catalog kind of thing. I'm not sure, because it was really nice paper, y'all. And I really like this side. And as y'all saw when I was playing, or when I laid out that stuff and took the photograph, that I liked how this paper looked next to the other image, that image right there, which is a calendar image, okay? It has a calendar on the back of it. We didn't use calendar at all, even though it was for March. How coinkadinkle was that, Katie? So we're just scorching it around and laying it around, and I really don't have much of a plan in my head because I figure I have enough supplies that if I foul this one up, I'll just do something else. Because, you know, I would. So we're just going to be gluing all this stuff down, and will it go back down in the exact same place where I had it? Probably not. But we're going to glue it down anyway. And I did say glue. We're not necessarily collaging, even though it is collaging because we're gluing it down. But we're just gluing it. And then I'm like, oh, I don't want to span the gap. So trim that off with my scissors sideways, which you know never ends well because you don't get a straight edge. But, you know, it's like, okay, we're going with it. Let's not forget my word of the year. Serendipity. Anyway. And it works again for me. Serendipity, y'all. So we're just going along, trimming around, gluing. And remember, we are still on our first page of what? Like a 4-page book, journal, art and thing. So I'm trying to speed it up because it really was quite long. I know it's not even 30 minutes now. Not. So, anywho, trimming around the edges. That's just an envelope that was laying on my desk, and I thought, yeah, that'll help keep me from getting stuff on the other pages. It worked for the most part. Okay. I get a little messy with paint a little bit. You'll see. And I'm trying to line up the pieces on either side of the gap there. It works well enough. Makes me happy. We know that's the important thing. So we find little places that need more glue, so we put more glue. Are you riveted to your seat, waiting for bated breath for us to get done with this first page? Or you're just going to have to wait because it took the longest. I was having a hard time getting going. Me personally. I'm like, I don't know where you're going, little booklet, journal, art book. But I had that phrase that was on the magazine image. And it said, I don't know, it said something about human beings. So, and I liked it. I thought, well, I like that. So we're going to use that. And here I'm just, gluing around some little scraps I tore off. I'm like, well, that's perfect. I don't even know why you tore it off. Oh, because it's supposed to be over here, not over there where it was originally made at. And this is where I think, well, I'm just going to smear some paint around because everything seems somewhat disjointed. So we'll get a baby wipe and some acrylic paints. The brands and colors typically don't matter. I mixed up some colors to kind of make that turquoisey robin, red-breasted robin color egg. And I think I did pretty good. I think I did a pretty good job. And I get paint all over my hands, all over my little mat there, and just, it wasn't real horrible bad, but it was messy. I normally don't get quite that messy. Except today. Okay? Well, the day I did it, because it's not today. That was day yesterday. I don't know. So, anyway. So now we're going to glue our word on there. I think it says being human. See, I'm so far away I can't see. And then I had this photograph. It's a real photograph, y'all. And I like the girls. I like the photograph. And I'm like, but it doesn't quite fit size-wise. So I thought, well, I'll just cut the girls out. Because, and mind you, I really still don't know where we're going. Because, when I say I'm an intuitive artist, I mean that. There is a fly bugging me. Anyway, so I just try my little girls on there. And I'm like, yeah, I like them in the flower pot. Because it's flower pot. It may not look too flower potish, but it is. So we're still just going around. We still don't even have a clue how we're going to wrap this page up, much less continue on. And I kept thinking about that. I'm like, okay, so what do I do after this page? So we're just going along. And I noticed I did not glue them all the way. So theoretically, something could be tucked behind them. And see, here we are gluing them down on the backside so they don't come loose. They're not coming loose. They're not coming loose. So we went ahead and inked around the outside on this one because I realized that, me playing with that page for an hour in real time was not going to be very conducive to a video short enough to hold attention spans, okay, to some people's attention span. Now, if you're vacuuming the floor, doing dishes, or folding laundry, it'd be fine. But I don't know if that's what you're doing. So I like that photograph. I'm like, well, I love how that looks with those girls cut out, even though I love the girls in the flower pot. I'm like, well, I like that. So now I'm going to try to figure out how to use that, okay? So I tore out some black cardstock, and I like that pretty well. And I'm like, well, do I want them on top of it? Do I want them, and by them I mean photograph, on top of it, underneath it? What do I want to do? And then I decided that the white edge around that photograph was throwing me off. Okay? It was just throwing me off. So I cut that white edge off and rounded the corners, which y'all saw. I don't have to explain that to y'all. Y'all saw it. I'm like, yeah, that'll work. And I'm like, okay, well, now we got to tear another piece of... Because in my head, it looked kind of like it was splotchy splats of color against... I know it looks polished. It's not spring, y'all. It is what it is, right? It's what it is. And I still don't know where we're going. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going with this. And sometimes when you're arting that way, you just got to hold on and trust it'll work out. The odds are in your favor that it will work out. So we're making that one on the right-hand page there a little pocket. I just can't help myself sometimes. So we got this scrap, and when I laid that picture over there, tossed that picture over there at one point, it landed on it, and I thought, well, that's beautimous. And it just so happens there's like a line in that orangey reddy part of the magazine image, and I thought, well, how perfect is that? It just looks like the girls just, kind of standing side by side. Which I don't know if there'll be a close up enough photograph later on at the montage for y'all to see, but there may be, hopefully there will be, because it's so cool. It's just like, yeah, that's like where their skirts are touching. So we're doing that. Now we're going to glue them on the page. And this is where the first part started coming together. I'm like, okay, we can go there. Yeah. So we're just doing that. Y'all, they look cool. I said, oh, the shadows of the girls, which led into the phrase, but you won't see that part yet. I keep the phrases as a punchline, and not a punchline, y'all, but you'll see. And I thought, well, now we want to incorporate some of this here turquoisey color, which happens to be the same color as those eggs, mostly, more or less, mostly. That's what we got this here leftover paint. Let's just smoosh that around the edges, because, we're not going to do that ink and stuff anymore, because we just essentially cover all that up. I know, that's the point of layers. I do understand the concept of layering, okay? So we're doing that. Heat gun, y'all. And in the stuff, now I have only used stuff from Katie, except for my glues, right? Okay. There was this sticker stuff, and it's chalkboard. It says it's chalkboard, so you can stick it on something. I don't know if it's a sticker. Oh, it might have been a vinyl. Oh, well, it's stuck now. So I'm like, yeah, let's just use that. So we trimmed it apart, and now we're trimming it up too. And it's not straight, and that's okay. So we're just doing it, and we're having a good time. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going where it's leading me. So we're squishing that all down. So we're making sure, excuse me, y'all, that it's stuck real well. And now we're going to use that little Swiss dotted piece of turquoise. Those little dots are like gold, y'all. And I'm like, yeah, I want it there. So I got to flip the page over and trace around it so we can trim around it. And I do that for both pages, okay? Because, it's a double page spread because they're, face-to-face pages and they work together. The whole book is that way, y'all. It's a good thing there wasn't more pages, because can you imagine how long we'd be here? Excuse me. So now we're using some fabriFix, because we're sticking a mulberry paper-ish onto a vinyl-ish surface. Will this hold? I don't know. It's holding well enough for me right now. So that's the important thing. And we made that side a pocket again. And I'm like, oh, I don't like how you can't see that. And I thought, well, that looks weird. So I have to put a black line there. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. Do you see it? Evidently you get to see it. Woohoo, lucky you. No, yeah, that's okay. That's good enough. So now we're going to lay it on there, and we're going to trace it, and we're going to cut it out, and then we'll glue it on. See, I'm covering up the sentiment for that page, because you'll see it in the photo montage in another 2 days. Y'all know I'm just joking. I'm just pulling your leg when I say silly things like that. It's an hour away. So, just filling airtime with my lovely chit-chatty self. This one does not become a pocket. It gets glued all the way down. And really, I thought I had edited that part out. But it appears that I've lied to myself. Lasai even. Not Versailles, but Lasai. Like that. Shows exasperation, or I don't know what to do. So here we are. We're moving along. It's like, we got to get busy on this. So I took the leftover piece of calendar page. Took me a second to find the words, y'all. And the picture, the magazine picture, and I glued them together just along one edge, and as it turns out, serendipitously, it fits. I cut it down the middle, so I have two sides. See, I'm showing you two sides, and we're gluing one side on. Okay. I told y'all, I really liked how those just, when I laid them out, I'm like, well, those just look good. So that's, how this thing started getting built. And we're just using my favorite glue, smooshing around. We're trying to be careful. And yeah, I know we're covering up the ribbon binding stuff there. That's okay, y'all. It's okay. So we're going along, smooshing glue. We're going to smoosh the other page on there. And there is a part that I neglected to record because somebody didn't push record, although we won't name names. But I have a little piece of twiny stuff that I rolled up, and it looks similar to the rope wrapping around there, and so yeah, we did that, and we glued it on there, and then we put a little phrase on it. So now we're putting the back cover on and the front cover on, and I thought I was being clever, and I thought I was tracing my stuff out right, but I got one of them flipped wrong. But it's okay. I ain't no thing but a chicken wing, or a robin wing, or a bluebird wing, or whatever kind of wing you want it to be. Could just be a thing. Ain't no thing. So we get them all trimmed out, and we're going to glue them on. And I don't remember if I actually show you that part. I probably do, because y'all know you must see how I glue this stuff on. It's the law. And we know we don't want to break the law. And I thought, well, we need to outline the whole thing in black because it doesn't quite go to the edge. So we put some black Posca on there, which I forgot to put in the list of ingredients. Which, speaking of, in the description box below, you will find a list of ingredients used. Well, except for each individual thing I got from Katie, because I didn't do that. There will be a link to Katie's channel and a link to her collaborative part of the video. Okay? I know I said it already, but I said it again. Please be sure to like, comment, and share her videos. She's got some very interesting stuff over there on her channel. She's taught us how to solder, which is a word that's spelled like soldier. Mostly. Okay, clean the glue up, because we'll get it everywhere, because, we're being somewhat messy today. Because you needed to see me clean the glue up. I couldn't have blurred that part out. Anyway, we do the front, and we're going to do the back, and that's when I realized I got my printed side cut for the outside when I really just wanted the blue, but serendipity, it comes out the way it's supposed to. Sometimes what you think is a bobo is the way it wants to be, and that's just how it's going to be, and you just need to not argue and fight with it, okay? It's like, okay, well, there we go then. That's the back. Okay? They're not upside down. I did get lucky on that part. They're not upside down. I just have the book faced up so that it looks upside down, but it's not upside down. So now I got some magnets, because I'm like, I want to use the ribbon as a closure. It doesn't theoretically even need a closure, but I wanted to use it because I had it. Well, I had other stuff, but So I'm using some double-sided tape on a little teeny tiny magnet, because I'm going to stick it underneath the ribbon there, whose ends I have secured previously off camera with fabriFix so that the ends don't fray, because it wants to be doing some fraying. I'm like, don't be fraying on me. So we're gluing it down. Like I said, theoretically this one didn't even need a closure, but I had it and I liked it, and I'm like, yes. So we're doing that, and we're gluing around the magnet. And then we're going to do some fancy flip-floppy stuff with the other part of the ribbon, and we've got a little button there that I found, okay? And so we've, excuse me, got one of those and cut it down to size to fit behind the little button thingy. And I double-side tape that, and then I'm going to stick those little things behind there. You know, I've already got a string through there. And I probably could, you know, trim that string off, but I didn't do it. Will I do it now? I don't know, because I haven't done it yet. But I don't even know if I will. And I'm like, well, I'm going to put some of this other glue on there. And I hope this part stays stuck, y'all. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, flip that down. And I'm like, well, I don't want it to glue itself to itself where I don't want it. I only want it glued to itself where I want it glued to itself. That's a play on words. I don't know what it means. I didn't win that game. So we're doing that. Okay, that's how I want it. And I don't want it to glue where I don't want it to glue. And now we're putting on a big old blob of fabriFix on the back. See, that shiny stuff, that's the tin cap. And when you do that with that stuff, you only need one magnet, because the magnet will stick to the metal stuff. So this is all the leftover treasures. I'm telling you, I got enough. I can do it at least one more, maybe 2 more projects. I don't know. That wasn't in our game plan. So here we go. We're going to be doing a little flippy floppy. See, doesn't that look nice? I know it's very plain, and I know it's very simple, and I know no diamonds were used in this project, but that's how it went, because that's what this project said. It wanted no diamonds and no flip-flops. So here we go. See, you can tuck stuff behind the girls in the flower pot. And here we go. There's a little pocket. Doesn't that look cool, y'all? I just think it looks cool. And then here we go. We cut out all those from various Sizzix alpha dyes. And, you know, put that phrase there. It's very simple. It's nice and simple. It's like, yeah, that's it. And then here's the last page. There are no pockets or tuck spots on the last page. I don't know how that happened, but it did. It happened that way. So, and then that's the back cover. See, the bird's the correct way around. See, that's the little spiny thing. Okay. And then that just flips around. It's got the, like I said, it doesn't need it, but it's got the magnet on there. And it's just like, ta-da! Photo montage. Look how cool it is, y'all. I appreciate each and every one of you. That's the back. Kind comments, likes, shares, subscriptions. I would like to take a moment to invite you to subscribe if you've not already subscribed. Oh, y'all, that makes me so happy. Look at them being human. It's hard. It's hard being human. History becomes the shadow of us. We tend to only want to remember the dark things, y'all. Will we ever learn? History is over. It's done. We cannot change it. We cannot redo it. No matter how much we try to change it, it will still be a shadow of us. Will we ever learn to move on? To move past it? To not repeat it? And let it be what it was? Thanks for watching. Happy arting, y'all.